Where do I think DJ culture is right now? I would say it's exciting, first of all, to see all these new people coming up, all the different platforms that you can share your music, share your sound, share your philosophy. I also think that because it's so accessible these days, it's like great power, but also great responsibility. So I recognize that it's just like a balance right now. There you see a lot of new opportunities, but I also recognize that what feels really important to me is still maintaining a sense of foundation and recognizing that there's a culture here, that there's like rules to this game, and ultimately I love to see all of us just like continue to learn and grow. And whether you're 18 years old or you're 68 years old, I think there's opportunity and space for everyone. I would say in terms of the rules of the game, the principle for everything is always going to come down to respect, and respecting the art, respecting the craft, respecting the music, respecting the venues, respecting the culture, respecting other DJs. And sometimes I don't see that always happening these days. And so, I do recognize that, maybe there's like a level of convenience or maybe even entitlement that comes with DJing these days. And I think what I would just want people to recognize is that there's a culture here, and there's a lot more at stake than just our own presence. It's actually the music that we play has an impact on our communities. It has an impact on the world around us. So yeah, there's just a lot of things. I started DJing when I lived in Taiwan. And the reason why I started DJing in Taiwan was because I saw that there was no shortage of Black music and Black culture, but there were not a lot of Black people playing that music. And I felt like there was a personal responsibility for me to just have a little bit of control and representation in how myself was represented, but also my culture and my people are represented. And I think I bring that to the decks every time I play. It's not just a show, it's not just entertainment. There's actually some intention behind everything that I play. My favorite genre, I think, I do say that the thing that makes me a strong DJ is I have a really wide range. So if it is a theme party, I can rock that. Some folks are trying to get me out to do like a city pop set because people don't know that I got city pop decks or city pop crates. But I think ultimately I just want people to feel something when I play, and I want to be able to make it, sort of attuned to what reading the crowd, attuned to the environment, but also putting my foot in it so people recognize that, oh, that DJ did something different. I like to be open, and I think it's really about, it really comes down to the music. It doesn't really matter what the genre is or the theme. You just have to really respect the music and try to convey something that's gonna leave an impression. I love it all. I've done all the spots. I mean, as someone that organizes events, I will open, I will close, I will play peak time. They all have a place, and I think when I'm doing an opening set, I can be a lot more free, a lot more experimental. I also appreciate being able to play prime time. It's like everyone's here, let's go, and I like to be able to play in a way that I'm still channeling my energy and making sure that everybody in the space is actually having an opportunity to feel what I'm playing. And I love closing sets. The thing that I do well, I think, is play really up-tempo dance music, but then I also love dropping into slow jams and things that make you feel a lot more sentimental to end the night. So I love it all. Again, I love back-to-backs, I love solos. My girlfriend and I, we often do a lot of back-to-backs, and there's like a conversation happening there when you're working with someone on the decks. It's improvisational, and so ultimately you're having a conversation with that other DJ, but you're also having a conversation with the audience or with the dance floor. And I also love a solo set. I love being able to just like tell the story and be able to tell it from start to finish and be able to say it in a way that only I know how it's going to dictate, how it's going to play out, but also in tune with what the crowd is kind of responding to. So that's also really fun. My approach to DJing is I am a maniac. I am absolutely obsessed with this thing. I've been doing it for over a decade now. I still take the same level of intensity to preparing myself, not just for events, but just preparing my music. And like I said, I think it's just a respect for the craft. I hear about how some DJs don't practice a lot, and that like blows my mind because even for an hour set, I feel like I practiced for 40 hours, and practice looks a lot different than it did before, where I'm not necessarily, on the turntables working on my cuts, but it's just like deeply listening to music and being very intentional about the music that I bring in my crates. We have so much music available to us these days, so I think it actually requires even more of discernment in terms of what we play, because it's unlimited, and so I think that's what takes a lot of energy. And I think if I were to give some advice to a young DJ, it would be that. It would just be like, take that level of obsession and apply it to your craft. So my inspirations for DJing, number one that comes to mind was DJ Spinna, who I met this weekend, and I literally felt like it was like a mic drop. I met him, and I got to tell him how much he meant to me as a DJ and how much he meant to my party, Soul Source LA. And it was like, dang, I really got a chance to meet my hero, and what he represents to me is, like I said, the range of music that he plays and the emotion of which he plays. He's an incredible producer, incredible DJ, so he's kind of like my North Star in terms of this music. But there's so many people that have inspired me. I mean, locally, Patrick Wilson, he's amazing. I feel so privileged to be able to just take a drive and go see a master at work. I've been able to meet like Karimza from Baltimore, who's a tremendous influence on me. His way of playing, his way of producing just has been a signature in my sound. J-Rock in LA has played Soul Source a number of times, and it's amazing to me that not only have I had a chance to learn from these legends, but also DJ alongside them. So, for me, it's been incredible, this journey that I've been on recently, to be able to meet these people that have deeply inspired the work and kind of remind me that I'm just a beginner in this, that I need to keep growing, and they're all at least a generation ahead of me, and so it just reminds me that there's a lot further for me to go. So, Soul Source is about music, it's about community. It's about movement. It's about creating a safe space. It's about, what people often tell me is that Soul Source reminds them of a party of the 90s. And that's like the highest compliment that you can give, because it's not about people being on their phones. It's not about people being seen. It's about people like moving, connecting with music, connecting with their friends, connecting with the community, hearing music that they never heard, seeing DJs that they've seen maybe online or Twitch, but are actually right there in their space, and even they're playing differently because they're able to respond to a crowd that is reacting to everything that's happening around them. So it is kind of like a church that we hold on Sundays for sound, and the thing that people often tell me is that it's a healing space. So that's what keeps me having it continue growing. So yeah, remixes versus originals. I think as a DJ, your responsibility is just to be an original yourself. So whether you're playing remixes or edits that people haven't heard, or you're playing some cut that is, you found that's you unearthed from the 1960s or 1970s, or something that's been sort of unique or slept on. Like, my job has always been just to be an original, and I don't really get too caught up in whether a track is a remix or an original, as long as it sounds good and it sounds unique. For me personally, I always try to be different. The moment that someone thinks they've figured out my sound, I take a left, and I go a different direction, just so that I can remain unpredictable and spontaneous and keep things fresh for the people that are listening. A song that is perfect for me to play out. I feel like what I want the song to do is connect everyone in the room. So it may be something that is familiar, but there's often like a sense of spirituality to it. There's a sense of like, we're in this moment together, but at the same time, as much as it might connect people, it might also give people an opportunity just to feel free in their own body, and to explore space and to explore movement on their own. So it's really hard to define a perfect song. I think it just depends on the time of the night, the context. But I think that's what I love to see on a dance floor is a deep level of connection, whether it's, like I said, to the song itself, or to your community, or maybe it's even to your ancestors at that moment. I think that's what I'm always looking for. I want to see people respecting the craft. I want to see people respecting the music, respecting the art, and Yeah, just be a good person. You know, like at the end of the day, we're all humans, and you know, the music. We're never gonna be bigger than the music. So stop acting like it. Some folks gotta humble themselves and recognize that it's music first. The sounds that I'm gonna play today, I mean, I normally play dance music, or I'll play, you know, sort of down tempo, kind of ambient music. But I think just considering everything that's happening in the world today, like I just wanted the music to speak to, you know, the things that I'm feeling right now. And I know that there's a lot of people in the world that are feeling oppression, that are feeling struggle. And I think that part of my platform as a DJ is to be able to amplify those voices, and to also offer people a sense of solace and sound. Like I said, I think music is very healing. And so, you know, I have some speeches, I have some, you know, I would say like Black spiritual music that I want to play today and share, and that's just where my heart is at today. And so you guys caught me today on this day. This is what it feels like I want to transmit, so I appreciate the opportunity to play it.